What is going on, guys? Bruce from What's Popping here, and we are continuing with our Comic-Con Africa 2022 media coverage. That is right, guys. On the channel so far, we have covered all of the guests that we had at the con. We've had Jamie Campbell Bower's highlights, as well as those of Ross Butler, which leaves us with two more guests to cover, and that is, of course, none other than Khylin Rhambo and Dylan Sprayberry. Now, these two Teen Wolf actors joined us here for 2 days at Comic-Con Africa. I think they had a pretty good time. I was actually able to meet both Khylin and Dylan. There we go, Dylan. Separately for a little bit and chat with them. They were so generous with their time. Dylan is actually a massive Wild Dog fan, so the two of us got along really well. But that is a video for another day. In today's video, we're going to jump into their panel highlights where they discussed all things Teen Wolf series, Teen Wolf movies, general acting experience, and advice for people here in South Africa. So without any further ado, let's get into the highlights of their panel.
We're hanging out, we've been having a good time here. You guys have said that you love your time here, which is fantastic. What projects are you guys working on right now? Because you just wrapped the Teen Wolf movie. So it's in post-production, I would assume. So they don't know anything that's happening, so you can't ask them about that.
Yeah.
But what do you got coming up? What are y'all working on?
Well, eventually, can you guys hear me? Okay, cool. Eventually, I'm really excited for you guys to see. It was a project that we actually finished a few years ago. When I say we, I mean Dylan and my good friend Daniel. Dylan directed and wrote the film and had me in it, so I can't wait for you guys to see that. It's called Flower Boy. It's a short film, but we're finally gonna eventually release it out, so that's gonna be nice. I have a tattoo about it too, because it means that much. So I'm excited for you guys to see it. And yeah, just finished the Teen Wolf movie. Yeah, to be honest, I said this earlier, but like, only project I'm working on right now is myself. Like, making sure I'm just like, you know, loving yourself. Because as an actor, like, once you're done with a project, you're technically unemployed, and it's kind of like hard to you don't want to like see it that way. You don't want to seem like, oh, I have no purpose now that I have no project. So I realized like being an actor is also manning your vessel. So that's my project. He's doing cool stuff though.
Flower Boy is coming out soon. We're working on finding some sort of platform that everyone can watch it on, so we'll share that through social media on Instagram and everything. We'll keep you guys updated through Instagram. And Khylin was the star of that short film. He did an amazing job, and we're really excited to show it to you guys. We've been sitting on it for a while, just trying to figure out the best way to put it out there, and that'll be happening soon. We did the movie, which is going to be really great. We can't tell you guys any spoilers, but it was a really fun process, and it's going to be really fun. I think you guys are going to love it.
Everybody dies.
Everybody dies. Everybody. I have a horror film called Sick that should be coming out within the next couple of months, hopefully. If not, then the beginning of the year. Like Khylin said, just working on myself and becoming a better person and a better artist. I've been writing a lot, so hopefully within the next year or two, I'll have some of my own projects coming out. Khylin's got some roles in there as well. So just trying to build on our creativity and do things ourselves and keep putting movies and TV shows and new things like that out there for everyone to see.
Now you're kind of making a bit of a pivot because you're starting to look at writing and directing. What made the change? Like why that decision?
It's something that I always really loved to do. My dad and I used to go to films when I was a kid, and that was our bonding experience, was to go to movies and watch movies back to back. So it's just always something I've been obsessed with, is film in general, not just as an actor, but as a writer and a director. And even when I was a young kid, I would go and make short films on my own, just with flip cameras, and we'd always do skits, and we had talked about writing and creating stuff together for a long time. And it's just really fun to be able to write something down on a piece of paper and then create a whole world and make something like, you know, any of this stuff. It's really, really fun to get to do that and to kind of share it with you guys and see what you think and get your interpretations of what it means to you. It's just a really fun back and forth kind of process.
Very cool. Then you showed me a very lovely drawing of the next tattoo that you want to get.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got a couple. Which one means the most to you?
Man, that's a really good one. All right, this one was really cool. Like, it kind of just happened. It's on the last day of filming Teen Wolf. I got a wolf. But it's crazy because Teen Wolf meant a lot to me because even before I was even auditioned for Teen Wolf, before I even had the concept of working on it, my friends, we identified as like a pack. We literally called ourselves a wolf pack. As cheesy as that might be, like I stayed true to it. I feel like a wolf has always like followed me in some sense. I feel like I identify with it. You know, they can be alone, but they can be together. This is a meaningful one, but this one is like really important to me. It's got the flower of life. It's a thing called sacred geometry. If you're curious, look it up. I would kind of butcher the explanation, but it's a symbol that's seen everywhere. Most cultures across different parts of the globe, all collectively, you'll find hieroglyphs and drawings and sketchings of the flower of life. It's in nature, so it just kind of means everything. I kind of teeter on like the spiritual side of life, and yeah, it kind of reminds me of my purpose here.
So I actually took I know you told me not to watch the show, but I watched the show. I had some time to kill in my hotel room because I keep waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning for absolutely no reason at all. So there's a character that I really, really enjoy that I want to hear about what you both felt like working with it, and that would be the Jeep.
The Jeep.
The Jeep.
You know what? That's actually really crazy. Like, my character didn't have that much interaction with the Jeep, but you know what? There's something so crazy about that Jeep because not only that the energy that it carries, he just said the Jeep and everyone's like, yeah, it has like an energy to it, but I think one of the most powerful, I don't know, like, it was an interview, but all we did was get inside of the Jeep, and there's a camera on the outside, and we just say whatever we want. And this was like near the end of Teen Wolf. This is when I knew it was ending. And normally, you know, when you're doing an interview, there's someone to react to, and you know, it doesn't get too vulnerable. It depends on the interview, but most of the time it doesn't. But in that Jeep, I felt like I was gonna cry. Like I couldn't even explain it. I was just grateful. I talked to my character as if he was a person, thanked my character for what he's done. It got really deep. So that was my favorite experience with the Jeep. It was actually not even acting. I was really in that Jeep just thanking Teen Wolf. It was very surreal. Do you remember that, bro?
I remember it. I don't remember what I said, but I remember that day.
It's probably raw, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good time.
That was the same day we did that video where like I was bullying everybody.
Oh, dude, I missed those too, bro. Have anyone seen the after show? I'm gonna let you answer. I'm so sorry. Have you guys seen that? Yeah, okay, cool. That, by the way, is probably like, I don't know, my favorite.
That was just as much fun as.
That was almost better than filming the series.
Yeah, because we got to improv everything.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I mean, I agree with Khylin. It's the Jeep had a life of its own, and it was really interesting because it was a stick shift car, and I don't know how to drive stick shift, and it was also just a very touchy kind of car. And so O'Brien really knew, it was like his best friend, like he really knew how to work that car. Like everything that Styles would do in the show is like Dylan really would do that stuff. And I remember I had to do the I fell in the hole scene, and at the end of it, Scott and Styles are talking in the front of the car, and I like turn on the car and shine the headlights, and I'm like, let's go, or whatever I said. And I remember filming that scene, and I turned the car on, but I didn't know how to drive it, so like it actually drove forward and I almost kind of hit them because they were standing in front of the car. And it was a really scary moment. I like turned the car off and everyone on set like rushed towards me and was like, you know, get out of the car, get out of the car. It was really scary. I almost killed Scott and Styles. Yeah.
It was
Oh, don't judge, you all have left like standard car and gear before. Everyone in this audience has done that once.
Yeah, it was embarrassing.
They all learned to drive standard.
Yeah, I don't know how to drive. Never tried to do it again. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go to the audience for some questions. So if you got a question, right there in the vest. He's gonna go grab you right over there. You're gonna make sure to speak really loudly because it's hard for us to hear up here.
Hi, I'm a massive fan, guys. With regards to like a particular scene in season 4 where you guys are doing a lacrosse scene against a preppy school, there was a very brief conversation between the two characters about Brett Talbot. I don't know if you remember that conversation.
we're going to come down and try to get in front of the speakers so we can actually hear the question, maybe if it's right. So say it one more time.
Yeah. In season 4, there was a brief conversation between...
Season 4, brief conversation.
Between your two characters.
Between y'all two.
About Brett Talbot.
About Brett Talbot.
Okay.
So I just want to know how it was filming that scene. Like, was it something that was improvised, or if it was something that was actually in preparation? And also, whether you guys actually clicked from the beginning, or it was just something that just followed after that?
That scene, do you remember that scene?
Yeah, where I was talking about the 8-pack.
Yeah,
Mason was going, he was thirsty.
You were hungry for that Talbot.
Oh, he wanted that Talbot.
He wanted to get on the Talbot.
He wanted that Talbot. No, there was, honestly, I wish, I was so inspired by O'Brien because that man's an improver. But I mean, he kind of earned it. Like his role, it works really well in that. I personally was very scared to lose my damn job. Like, I was like, I'm gonna do exactly what it's written here, and then I'm gonna do that as best as I can. That was my first season 4. You were saying, right? Yeah, that was my first year on the show, so I was Mr. Perfect as best as I could, which isn't the best way to act. I realized after, but no. So it wasn't too much improv. I do remember it being funny though, because Mason, like, it just seemed like a conversation that Khylin would have to one of his friends about a girl, so it was like I completely understood where his head was at. So it was fun playing that for him. Yeah, but there was no improv. Those were the lines right there.
Yeah, I just tried to be as angry as I could. I just thought about all the people I didn't like in middle school and high school, and I just put it on him.
Put it on.
Yeah. Of course.
All right, next question. It's in the white jacket and the sunglasses. Not a like that. It's a jean jacket. Make sure it's nice and loud again.
So obviously you've both been in the industry for quite a while, right? So out of your entire experience with the industry, do you have anything that, it doesn't have to be acting specific, but is there any piece of advice that you would share with people that are up and coming in the industry?
Not becoming an actor?
Just advice in the industry.
Oh,
not even just acting.
Acting is not the hardest job in the world, so I don't, sometimes people make it sound like it's like harder than being a, I don't even know. People make it sound like it's just as hard as being a soldier or doing something rocket science. Or rocket science. It's not that. There's just a lot of pressure, and you go through a lot of rejection, and you're constantly unemployed, like Khylin was saying. So it's one of the only jobs where you're constantly trying out for a new job, and you're constantly having to prove yourself that you're good at what you do, no matter. Like, we still audition all the time, and we were on TiVo for 4 years or whatever, and we've both been acting since we were little kids, and we still have to act like we're just as new as everybody else, and or treated that way, like it's always a new experience. So I would say it's one of those jobs you really have to do because you love it, and you find some sort of personal growth in it. And people can do jobs for all different kinds of reasons, but I would suggest only doing it because you really love the art form of it. that's the only way you'll be able to do it for a really long time and not lose your mind.
True. I would say real brief, everything he just said, correct. As well, like, especially the love part, I fell in and out of love with acting due to the rejection, due to like getting close to something I wanted, and then it's like a breakup, it's like a heartbreak, so then you don't want to keep diving into love again, but that even is all about developing yourself. And like, I would say the biggest thing, when I feel the most successful, not even as an actor, but as an artist, is when I have faith. Like, not even in a religious sense, like faith is an instrument that brings about everything that's in here, but it won't happen otherwise. So whether you have faith that you're gonna fail, you will fail. If you have faith that you're gonna succeed, you will. Just keep continuing, because if you feel that way, even if you don't feel that way, if that's in your heart, it's there. So like, might as well attach faith to it. Like, just, it might seem crazy, you know, it might seem scary, and that's all because you're on the right track. The right track never feels just super safe and just like, you know? So it's just belief, and like, despite what you feel like, you look like, despite what anything, like, just choose to believe in yourself. And it's a practice, so that's what I'm doing every day. You know, some days I feel amazing, and some days I feel like the lowest of lows, but faith is the only thing that brings me back. So keep it as long as you can and just grow it, you know? Of course.
I would say as well, like, failure is a part of succeeding too. You have to fail to get better at what you want to do. So you can't be afraid of, you know, honestly, succeeding can just be as scary as failing too. So you have to, you know, lead with your chin up and take the punches as they come, and, you know, everything is a way to learn and to get better. If you look at it that way, you'll be fine.
Literally. Yeah, no L's, just lessons. No losses.
Yeah,
Just lessons.
L stands for lessons.
Lessons. Those are the only L's I take. Lessons.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I'm totally stealing them.
Yeah, that's great.
That's my favorite thing you've said all week. Last question, and then you guys got to get over to photo ops and autographing.
These go so fast.
I know. So we're at the Kentucky Fried Chicken stage, so clearly we like food. And everybody here eats. What is your go-to comfort food?
Ooh. Well, I got 3 bottles of hot sauce in my backpack. Doesn't Beyonce say that? I got hot sauce in my bag. I literally do. Anything spicy. I love chips and salsa. I love Doritos and hot sauce. I'm disgusting. And then, what else? Sushi, maybe. No, ramen.
I'm a pretty classic American type of guy. I love hamburgers and I love steak.
Steak, yeah, steak is actually the best.
Steak is great.
Steak is amazing. That's the animal in you, though. That's the wolf in you, bro.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I did that.
Well, on behalf of everybody here, we want you to thank you all for, first of all, making the very short